Welcome to the review of Carlton's loss to the Western Bulldogs. First time we're doing a review of a game on the Jumper Punch channel as a single video. So, warm welcome to you all. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment as well. Carlton 11-9-75 to the Western Bulldogs 12-11-83. And the reason we've got this background on our video today is because if Carlton continues to play this way and Carlton continues to relinquish early starts and leads, they'll be on holidays very, very early this season. Staring down the barrel of 0-4 sets up a Thursday night clash against our arch rivals Collingwood in front of what's expected to be over 90,000 at the MCG. Same tale of woe for the Blues. Inefficiency is rife. Poor defensive discipline. Feel like we're saying the same thing over and over again for the Carlton Football Club. And the worry is for our Blues at the moment is that a lot of our prime movers are actually getting their hands on the ball. But it's to little avail on the win-loss column, which I actually think is a far more worrying sign than anything we have going wrong at the club at the moment. So if we actually have a look at the disposal tally for our team in that Friday night loss, De Koning had the ball 28 times. Hewitt, who's not the greatest user and he's not an offensive weapon, had it 27 times. Chera 26, Walsh 26. Kemp kicks 5. Curnow kicks 3. Young kicks 2. But what happens? The inefficiency going forward of centre. The frantic nature of which we move the ball when we're under the slightest amount of pressure. The third quarter capitulation when we have control of the contest and have control of the game. Don't know how you train that out of the players. Don't know how you train that out of a team when they've had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 seasons to be able to deal with it. Very, very hard to go back the other way. Small forwards, nowhere near it. Fogarty doesn't get on the scoreboard. Motlop only the one goal, and then he's unsighted after quarter time. Sam Doherty continues to struggle. He's become a liability to the team at the moment. We saw another moment in a one-on-one scenario where he wasn't 110% committed to that particular contest. He got knocked off the ball and ball in hand as well. He's not very efficient at the moment. Jack Silvani, I thought, was really, really good. We'll get into that on the Jumper Punch on Tuesday. There'll be plenty of in-depth discussion surrounding Jack Silvani's performance, but just from an overall team perspective, it's just simply not good enough. I want to also highlight Mitch McGovern, who has had a horrendous start to 2025. Not exactly sure what's going on with him. He's dropping marks. He's not timing his run and jump at the ball. His disposal has been far from an elite level and far from what we know is his best. And again, it comes up time and time again, the laborious style with which we play football and the way in which we lack short, sharp, direct and assertive ball movement is of great concern. And when you're asked to do that under enormous amounts of pressure like we put ourselves under, you're just asking for trouble. It's going to be a very, very short, sharp review, this, because we're just going to be saying the same things over and over again. The same issues have continued to arise and rear their ugly head through round 1, round 2, round 3. They haven't been rectified. And the problem is personnel coming up from the VFL is really, and coming up from our depth is not really going to solve a lot of our issues. So a lot to work on coming into this game against Collingwood on Friday night. We're not exactly sure if Harry Mackay is going to front up. There is still lingering doubt over his availability in the team. Elijah Hollands is still a couple of weeks away as well. Look, can we beat Collingwood? Yes. Will we beat Collingwood? Unlikely, given the state of play at the moment. Maybe there's an inkling into us being on the quick backup and Collingwood coming off a bye. Can we get out to an early lead and actually hold on? That's the big question. So out of this game against the Bulldogs, the fear and people suggesting that we're going well and we're improving and there are signs there, the Bulldogs were missing Bontempelli, Treloar, Ugelhagen, 3 of their most talented and high output players. And look, we were missing Harry Mackay, really. And I know Elijah Hollands is a very, very good footballer, But we had more than enough out on the field to win this game, and we didn't. And 0-3 it's unacceptable, and you can understand why the calls to rid of the head coach are now starting to become louder and louder and louder. And if it continues down this path and we go 0-4, well, there's almost an argument to make the move on the head coach this early in the season if it continues to go down this path. So, look, again, a game which we lacked defensive discipline in during the most critical of times, a game that we were in control of to a certain point. We bridged out that margin to 3 to 4 goals, and we weren't able to hold on. And maybe these players aren't fit enough to run out games strongly. And I'll tell you what, the way in which Carlton plays at the moment and the game style with which they try to impose opposition does no favours for this team, and it does no favours for the back end of games either. So, look, it's a short, sharp review. Not going to harp on about it. The same issues coming into the season with which I said were going to be or had to be rectified. I speak of Michael Voss managing egos, and I speak of us being or applying ourselves defensively for a lot longer than we have not been improved. And we're hearing rumours of backroom issues and tiffs between coaches and tiffs between players and coaches and back and forth. And I suppose that's understandable when you're 0-3, but when these stories have made headlines prior to the season beginning and so early in the season, you would suspect that as time goes by, it will only get worse. So look, I don't want to paint a bleak picture so early in the season, but also don't want to be blindly optimistic and lie to fans and think that it's all just going to be okay, because the numbers are suggesting that it really isn't going to be okay. So they need to drastically improve what they're doing at the moment. They need to become far more efficient than what they are at the moment. How they do it, that's a big question of the coaches. They need to continue moving the ball on the outside. They need to continue overlap run. They need to stop with this precise ball movement that we're asked to commit to during phases of play where we can control the game without trying to be so precise and without trying to be so pinpoint and accurate. And then that then leads us to inviting pressure. So, big game coming up on Thursday night. Goes without saying, it's against Collingwood. It's the arch rival. We want to move forward. If you've got any comments, if you've got any questions, feel free to leave them below in our comment section. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll be back to do it for Tuesday night on the Jumper Punch. See you then.